Dennis Condrey is an American retired professional wrestler, best known as being one half of the tag team Midnight Express. Career. National Wrestling Alliance. Dennis Condrey was born in Florence, Alabama, and started wrestling in 1973 in the Tennessee area, wrestling for promoter George Gulas. He would also wrestle in the Mid-Atlantic area as well. In July 1974, he won the NWA Tri-State Tag Team Championship with his brother-in-law, Joe Turner. 3 months later, he would win the NWA Tri-State Heavyweight Championship. By the end of 1974, Condrey teamed up with Phil Hickerson, and became known as the Bicentennial Kings, and was managed by Kangaroo Al Costello. In March 1977, he began wrestling for Jerry Jarrett's promotion in Memphis. 4 months later, he would make his first overseas trip to Canada, wrestling in the Maritimes. In 1978, Condrey went to Alabama's Southeast Championship Wrestling. After the Bicentennial Kings broke up in 1979, Condrey formed the Big C's with Don Carson. In 1980, after Carson retired, Condrey teamed up with Randy Rose, and formed the Midnight Express, alongside Norval Austin. They dominated the tag team scene there until Condrey left for Mid-South Wrestling in 1984. Once in Mid-South, Condrey formed a new version of the Midnight Express with Bobby Eaton with Jim Cornette as their manager. They also started a legendary feud with The Rock, a role express that carried over into the NWA's Jim Crockett Promotions in 1985. In early 1986, Condrey and Eaton won the NWA World Tag Team titles from The Rock, a role express, and feuded with them until Condrey left the promotion in early 1987. He literally left overnight, giving no notice to Cornette, Eaton, or the NWA. American Wrestling Association. Condrey would reunite with former partner Randy Rose in the hour under manager Paulie Dangerously Loverboy Dennison. Ravishing Randy called themselves the original Midnight Express, and claimed the right to the name, which had since been used by Condrey and Eaton in the NWA. They would defeat Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee for the Hour World Tag Team titles on October 30, 1987, in Whitewater, Y. They would have a 2-month title reign, losing the titles to the returning Midnight Rockers on December 27, 1987 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Returned to the NWA after wrestling the Independents. Condrey returned to the NWA in November 1988, alongside Randy Rose and Paulie Dangerously. During the November 5 episode of World Championship Wrestling, Jim Cornette received an anonymous phone call. The caller ridiculed Cornette over Eaton and Lane's loss of the NWA World Tag Team titles to the Road Warriors on October 29. Cornette recognized the caller and basically asked him to come say it to his face. At that point, Dangerously and the original Midnight Express hit the ring and proceeded to pummel Cornette and Stan Lane, who was wrestling in a singles match. By the time Bobby Eaton showed up, it was 3-on-1. Cornette showed up the next week on TBS carrying his blood-stained suit jacket, and the feud was on. The teams wrestled at Starrcade 88, but nothing was solved. The Midnights vs. Midnights would be the hottest feud in the NWA for months, building up to a 6-man tag match involving the managers on pay-per-view in February 1989. The one who got pinned would have to leave the promotion. However, due to changes in ownership, the NWA was going through booking upheaval, with Dusty Rhodes being replaced as head booker by George Scott. Jim Crockett, Jr. already had a problem with Condrey due to his previous overnight disappearance, and Scott had previous animosity with Rose. So Scott's appearance as top booker made for the catalyst to bury both teams in the feud. The feud was called off, and the "loser leaves town" match was going to be used to kick one of them out of the territory once and for all and continue to bury the other. Jack Victory was brought in as his replacement, and the match went forward. Continental Wrestling Federation and International Championship Wrestling. Condrey returned to Alabama in the spring of 1989. On July 22, 1989, Condrey defeated Tom Pritchard to win the CWF Heavyweight Championship, before losing the title back to Pritchard on December 6. He would also form a short-lived tag team called the Lethal Weapons, with Doug Gilbert. Together, they went to the New England area to wrestle for International Championship Wrestling. On December 30, 1989, they defeated Phil Apollo and Vic Steamboat, who was subbing for Apollo's partner Eric Sabrasia, who no-showed, to win the ICW Tag Team Championship. They held onto the belts until March 1990, when they left the promotion. Condrey retired shortly thereafter. Comeback and retirement. Condrey came back to team with Eaton in 2004 and, along with Stan Lane, they have been wrestling as the Midnight Express in the Independents and feuding with The Rock, N.A.Roll Express and the Fantastics. Condrey signed to World Wrestling Entertainment in March 2010 as a developmental trainer. He was assigned to Florida Championship Wrestling and works with the Rookies on the NXT roster. Condrey retired in 2011, after wrestling his last match on October 15, against Bill Mulkey at the All Night of Legends. In wrestling, finishing moves: DDT, CWF Full Nelson Facebuster and Zwigiri. Signature moves: running leg drop, airplane spin, neckbreaker, back elbow smash. Managers: Jim Cornette, Baby Doll, Paulie, Dangerously, Jimmy Hart, Terry Runnels. Nicknames: Loverboy, The Lethal Weapon. Championships and accomplishments: American Wrestling Association Our World Tag Team Championship, with Randy Rose. Continental Wrestling Federation CWF Heavyweight Championship. Georgia Championship Wrestling NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship. International Championship Wrestling ICW Tag Team Championship, with Doug Gilbert. International Wrestling Cartel IWC Tag Team Championship, with Bobby Eaton. Jim Crockett Promotions NWA World Tag Team Championship, with Bobby Eaton. Mid-South Wrestling Association Mid-South Tag Team Championship, with Bobby Eaton. NWA Bluegrass Tag Team Championship, with Bobby Eaton. NWA Mid-America Continental Wrestling Association NWA Southern Tag Team Championship, with Phil Hickerson, Don Carson, David Schultz, and Randy Rose. NWA Mid-America Heavyweight Championship NWA Mid-America Tag Team Championship, with Phil Hickerson. NWA Six-Man Tag Team Championship, with Al Green and Phil Hickerson, and Tojo Yamamoto and Chris Colt. NWA Tri-State Heavyweight Championship NWA Tri-State Tag Team Championship, with Joe Turner. NWA United States Tag Team Championship, with Phil Hickerson. NWA World Brass Knuckles Championship. NWA Wrestle Birmingham NWA Wrestle Birmingham Heavyweight Championship NWA Wrestle Birmingham Television Championship. Southeastern Championship Wrestling NWA Alabama Heavyweight Championship NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Championship NWA Southeastern Tag Team Championship, with Randy Rose, David Schultz, Don Carson, and Phil Hickerson. Windy City Pro Wrestling WCPW Tag Team Championship, with Randy Rose. World Class Championship Wrestling NWA American Tag Team Championship, with Bobby Eaton. World Wrestling Council WWC North American Tag Team Championship, with Dutch Mantle. Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI ranked him number 219 of the 500 best singles wrestlers during the PWI years in 2003. PWI ranked him number 21 of the 100 best tag teams during the PWI years, with Bobby Eaton in 2003. Wrestling Observer Newsletter awards Tag Team of the Year with Bobby Eaton, Hall of Fame with Bobby Eaton as the Midnight Express.